Buster Keaton rules Speaking of Dragons will Otto be making an appearance? I could plug him in, but I don't like... Hang on. If you guys want to see him, hang on. Well, fuck, where can I tell you what. My surge protector from when I was trying to get this, the Dreamcast working is still on the floor over here, so... If you guys give me, like, 15 seconds, I'll go grab him real quick and I'll set him up on the... He can hold this stupid bit sign, so I'll be right back. Sheep! Hang on. Can y'all see me? Hey everyone, from Sheep's Trade, welcome to GatorBox. I'm Draco. This is an inflatable dragon, because tonight's stream is all dragon themed. I'm really getting the mileage out of this thing. Let me set him down right there. Look, here's the best part. Am I an airbender or what? Oh fuck, now I can't get to my seat. Oh shit. This is a disaster. I blame everybody for this. Alright. I feel like you're in my personal space, Otto. Let me... How do I get you not... There. Sit him here. You can be in charge of this. You know how to use it? There's a thing. It's got a button. You push the button, and it blinks. You got it? Okay. I'm gonna hope that you do. And we're just gonna leave that right there. Auto-like bits. Well, those of y'all coming in with from Sheep's Raid. Welcome to the stream. This is GatorBox. I'm Draco, and this is a hell of a first impression to make if there's any new viewers that have just come in, because you know, how often do you participate in a raid and the streamer's not even sitting at their you know, sitting at their camera, and then they come back with the fucking inflatable dragon. So, you know, don't say I never put myself out there for you. You want to give him a hug? Okay, I'll give him a big hug. I have to be careful because like he's gonna drop my bit sign. He's gonna break it. Now, a while back, you might remember from one of the viewer mail segments of yesteryear, Fandramon sent me a great little box of little trinkets and prizes and things like that. A lot of little things, and inside the box was a package of DragonHeart trading cards from the movie DragonHeart. Let me kind of get in on this. Whoop! Let me get a focus on that, please. Come on. I ought to have you run this fucking camera. You might be able to make it work. There we go. That's something to make the YouTube thumbnail easier. So, these are some of the cards that Fandramon sent in. Now, she pointed out, and I also noticed whenever we were doing the unbox, that it's missing some of the cards in the set. And the collector that she got these from was actually nice enough to write down the card numbers that were missing. And I kind of figured that it wouldn't be that hard to complete the collection, but honestly, unfortunately, with like movie cards from things like DragonHeart and X-Files and Mortal Kombat and shit like that, I don't want to say the cards are worthless, but you can't find anybody who's just individually selling the missing cards. So I would be better off buying a complete full set, and then I would just have duplicates. So instead of doing that and jumping through all the hoops, I figured let's take a look at the cards that we have in this pack. And I've seen this movie enough times where I can fill in the blanks for you. Okay, if they go in order of the plot of the movie, I'll tell you what happens. I'll be honest, it's nothing like that shitty PlayStation game that we streamed earlier this year, or last year, or whenever it was that we streamed that game. I've already forgotten about it. Wavecube, if we gave Otto a voice, it'd be Sean Connery. I think it would be funnier if we treated him, if we speak to Otto knowing that he's never going to say anything back. Like, you just address him normally, but then just be like, "Are you just a strong silent type or something?" Yeah, okay, fuck you too, buddy. So let's take a look at the DragonHeart movie trading cards. As Fandramon stated, these are the Topps Widevision. These are trading cards that are in widescreen high definition. I don't think you guys know how to appreciate that. Okay, that's a big deal. Also, why won't this open? What is this? What is this wrapped in? Like a fucking Ziploc bag that somebody cut apart? What the hell? Okay, hang on. It's time for the X-Acto safety blade. The not so safe safety razor. Yeah, see, look at that. Just like a hot knife through butter. For real though, why is it wrapped so intensely? It's like a brick of cocaine. I mean, well, to me it kind of is a brick of cocaine because I love this movie, but you know, let's not kid ourselves here. Is Otto better than Spyro? I tell you what, it's a lot easier to do impressions of Otto than it is to do impressions of Spyro. That much I will say. You guys want to hear my impression of Otto? Okay, here it is. Why can't I get these cards out? Come on. I feel like I'm just like destroying this. I was gonna kind of use this to keep hold of everything, but it's all coming apart. It's all gone pear-shaped. But the good news is I finally got the cards out, and then I need to hang on to this because this is not a password to an NES game. These are all the cards that I'm missing. One of these days I will complete the collection, but I was kind of hoping this would be like an extra booster pack just kind of tossed in there, but it actually is just the empty, just the foil thing. So I tell you what, let's take a look because I don't actually have any booster packs of these anyway. So let's just kind of look at the wrapper as if we were doing the unbox for the trading cards. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I mean, the foil on the front, real simple. That's the logo of the movie. I guess more or less the logo of the franchise. They were trying to make a thing out of it. It also says look for Draco foil chase cards. Guys, that's really close to saying Draco file, and I don't know if that's something you want to be printing on your trading cards because that's gonna attract a whole different crowd. I mean, I'd still buy them, but you know. So we got don't miss the collector's item first issue of DragonHeart the comic book coming this May from Topps. I think the DragonHeart comic went 2 issues. And I don't know if it was just a series or if it got shit canned or what happened, but I don't own either one. I have them in my watch list on eBay. I haven't pulled the trigger yet because I mean, I've been working a lot more often at my job, which is why you guys said my face is red. Yeah, it's sunburned because I've been outside. But I've been getting more hours, but I'm kind of like, I don't know if I should just be immediately blowing my money on DragonHeart comic books that are collector's items. Because whenever the company tells you it's a collector's item, it usually is not. So, you know, it's not very good. Taboo asked, how old is the movie? I want to say this came out in 96, judging by the copyright. That's very hard to read on the foil. Came out a couple years after Jurassic Park, and the CG on Draco, I mean, there's not a picture of him yet. There's one on the card back here. The CG is actually really good, but it's one of those movies that they made a sequel called DragonHeart 2, A New Beginning, and that was fucking awful. And then within the past decade, they've also made a DragonHeart 3 and a 4. I didn't know about 4, but I have number 3 on DVD, and I don't remember liking it. The fact that I've seen it and that I can't recall any of it is, you know, that's kind of the testament to its quality. It didn't stick with me, but this first movie, fucking hell, man. I mean, this is up there. This is an important film to me. This should be in the National Registry. All right. So it says the odds of finding the Draco foil chase cards is 1 in every 9 packs. no guaranteed number of chase cards per box. Because naturally, if they are randomly inserted, you could theoretically buy a box of 48 or 50, however many packs came in a box, and you might not get any holographics if Lady Luck is not in your favor. So anyways, let's kick things off. Are these cards in order? They do appear to be in order, so we're going to be able to see the entirety of the movie in the world's awfulest slideshow, narrated by the worst possible person. All right, so this first card is Draco, and we have to. Ooh, there we go. There's my namesake. At first, I thought that this weird like stitched leather thing at the bottom, I thought those were his toes, and I'm like, what the hell did they give him toothless feet? What the fuck happened? But no, it's this is just a slightly grainy picture of him from the movie. He looks kind of goofy right here, but we got that. And I'm not gonna read the backs of all of these cards because you guys know there's a lot of them. So we are gonna kind of rapid fire. I'm sure there's not gonna be a whole bunch of not all of them are gonna be good. It's gonna be like a normal trading card unbox, except just off the hook. Also, Fandramon, did you just spoil it in chat for everybody else now? Come on. But yeah, Draco does die at the end, so it's a very touching moment. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, it made me cry. So I haven't seen the movie in a few years, so I can't tell you if it still does, but probably will. All right, so the next card we have, see, like these are just the guys fighting. Bowen and god damn it, what's the other guy's name? Einon, that's right. And Einon's kind of he's the, believe it or not, this scrawny fuck is like the villain of the movie. He becomes, I think he becomes the king or something, and he's a real dick. But he gets mortally wounded at one point. And early in the movie, and the reason why the movie's called DragonHeart is because Draco shares half of his heart with him, and saves his life, and then he turns out to be a dick. But then because he's like bound to the dragon, then it's there's your plot device basically. If you kill the king, you can't kill one without the other. So in order for the evil king to be vanquished, Draco the last of his kind, he has to kick the bucket too. I mean, technically he was going to happen anyways. He's the only one, so that's how it is. And this is the scene. This is the scene of Draco giving half of his heart to what's his face? Einon. I keep forgetting. He just has a weird. I want to say Eidos, but that's like a game developer. This is where the dragon is discovered. You might notice that man is not sitting on a rock. That rock has an eyeball, so that's he spooked you. He's really good at camouflaging. I mean, I guess Draco can hide as an entire mountain, and you wouldn't even know it's a dragon. I mean, that sounds like a Final Fantasy boss, but okay. Sure, okay. And then here is literally just a shot of Draco's ass. This must be one of those Draco foil cards they were talking about. This has got to be what that one is. Actually, what this card is trying to show is that there's a ball and chain that's been thrown around his ankle, and somehow, as Draco's trying to fly away and escape, this is what brings him. It makes him stumble, and that's what brings him down, is one little rinky-dink ball on his ankle. So, that's what it is. Here's him. You can kind of see, there it is back there. This is him. I presume not pleased with the situation that he's found himself in. He's Sean Connery saying, "Take these knickknacks off my ankles, you pesky fucking human." I don't know the quote. I don't know the quote that goes with this scene. I mean, this is Bowen and Draco fighting. I think we got no, we don't have what? Okay, I was gonna say I think we have dupes, but they might as well be dupes. I mean, this is literally like a spot the difference puzzle. These are two different stills from the movie. The biggest tell is that Draco's mouth is slightly open in the second one. Is there a third one? Fuck me, right? I mean, it's different enough to be its own thing, but these are all basically from the same scene where, you know, Bowen and Draco are not, you know, you might be surprised to hear this. Someone who professes himself to be a dragon slayer doesn't really get off on a good foot with the dragon, and there's tiny little fireball here that CG Draco is spitting out. You know what I noticed is that this movie looks a lot more fluid when you're watching the movie. When you're looking at the stills, the CG does look it does look kind of hokey. I gotta be honest. Don't watch it in Blu-ray. If there's DragonHeart on Blu-ray, don't get it on DVD at the highest resolution. Okay, it's like 480p. That's where you want to be. All right. Because I think that's what's gonna make the movie look believable and not like a fucking PS2 game. And then we have somebody told Draco a joke. Either that or this is something that's probably traced a lot on DeviantArt and tagged with things that I probably should not repeat on this stream. I don't want to. Okay. Now I'm kind of bummed out that I burned up that joke on this card because fuck it. This one, you know, is one of the most traced ones on DeviantArt, and it's going to be tagged with things that I probably shouldn't say on this stream. So the reason why Bowen is inexplicably standing in Draco's mouth is because they get into a fight. They've been fighting all day, because this was in the day. Obviously, it's in the daytime. They've been fighting all day, and they get into a stalemate where Draco tries to eat Bowen, and then he stands in his mouth, and he points his sword straight up, so that if Draco were to bite down on him to try to eat him, he'd get stabbed in the, I guess not stabbed in the brain, but he'd get stabbed like through his mouth, and that wouldn't be good for Draco. So the fight's at a stalemate. And the punchline of the scene is that they literally stay there all night, with Bowen threatening to stab the roof of Draco's mouth and Draco threatening to eat Bowen. They can't come to, you know, they eventually come to a compromise, and that's, they settle their differences like this. With you know, they have a moment and it's like, okay, let's, I'm not going to stab you in the mouth. Let me get out of your mouth. Let's settle this like civilized people. So they do that, and then, you know, now Bowen is riding alongside Draco. You find out about the evil king. Draco, there's some exposition prior to meeting. The reason why Draco doesn't get along with Bowen is because Bowen actually slays the last female dragon, which he basically renders the entire species extinct, and then. But Bowen, he's just doing what he's been ordered to do. So he's just been following orders. So he basically sees the errors of his ways. This is his character arc, right? Like he understands that. What's that fucking Mewtwo quote? The circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you really are. That, you know, Bowen has that, just with way more words, because he's there in Draco's mouth all night. So so then we get a couple more shots of them hanging out. They're buddies now. They're learning about each other. This is a very creepy looking close-up of Draco that for some reason is making me think of Smeagol from The Lord of the Rings. And then basically this is the same scene. You know, he can shoot fire out of his nose too, right? He doesn't. I mean, he can breathe fire. He doesn't just shoot fireballs. He can. Okay, and I think I see why there's so many cards in the set, is because this is like the course of like 5 seconds in the film, and we've already got 3 cards showing the scene. What's on the back of this campfire scene? Is there anything like hokey? I mean, I guess we probably should have been looking on the backs of some of these, because there is like a storyboard piece right here, which is pretty neat. A startled Bowen jumps to his feet as the dragon's stream of flame roasts his rabbit dinner. an original ILM storyboard by Stan Fleming. ILM really had their hands all over this movie. I'm kind of glad they did. To keep the special effects budget manageable, storyboards were revised and sequences were trimmed to an acceptable 182 computer-generated shots, more than 3 times the amount used in Jurassic Park. It's funny that this movie is kind of like being like, yeah, fuck you, Jurassic Park, we got 3 times the CG, when back then there really was a push to make things computer-generated, and this was in the era where the CG was either really, really, really good because they hired ILM to do it, or it was total shit, and the CG looks awful, like flubber. So, but what's interesting is that Jurassic Park, I know they're trying to one-up Jurassic Park with this little factoid on the back. There's actually a lot of practical effects in Jurassic Park, and that is a very respectable thing to me, because the 90s is when, you know, that's the decade where practical effects died. At the end of the 90s and into the 2000s, everything became about computer-generated bullshit, and everything looks fake and shitty. So Jurassic Park, like the big, when the T-Rex steps in the mud and leaves the big footprint, that's a giant hydraulic foot. When the T-Rex attacks the roof of the Ford Explorer, that's an animatronic head that's being rammed onto the top of a car. When the dinosaur eats the lawyer, that's also animatronic. The velociraptors in the kitchen, the scenes of them running around where you only see their legs, that's a practical effect too. The brachiosaur is a practical effect. Like there's a lot of them in the movie, so there's actually some practical effects inside DragonHeart too. The reason why that shot of Bowen standing in Draco's mouth looks so weird is because the big Draco head that he was standing in is a practical set piece as well. That's not it's not CG. Draco's CG for most of the movie, but that particular thing was not CG. And I think it was because it just would have been a lot cheaper to build a dragon head than to digitally insert Dennis Quaid into have him stand on like a blue screen thing and put him in a dragon's mouth that's not really there. I think in terms of keeping the budget down, it'd be easier to build a fucking dragon head than to invent the dragon on a computer, which is very strange. And this scene with the rabbit is still ongoing with the campfire. Still going, although this is a pretty neat shot. We get don't reflect the camera. These damn widescreen cards. You can't really see that. Everything is in the way. This must have been an important scene in the movie, wouldn't it? And then here's just a still of Draco. Like, this is a really bad still. Like, I don't know if it's coming across well on tape because this camera is not really super high fidelity, but he's very blurry in the background, and then there's also, he's in motion, so there's motion blur on his wings. This one's not a very good picture. How is this being justified? It says he's got smoke curling from his nostrils, but it's such a low-res picture I can't even tell. So we're getting into some of the battle scenes with the Evil King. I mean, really, let's just be real here. I joked and said this was going to be a slideshow, but you guys, come on. This is also a nice shot. Just Draco in the sky. A lot of God rays coming down off him over there. Okay, now we're getting toward the end of the movie. These scenes I remember. So I'll kind of flip through them pretty quickly. Basically, they're confronting Einon at the castle where he resides. And again, we're basically getting kind of a flip show of the scenes. You know, Bowen shows up to have the face-off. I mean, that's a pretty big castle. I want to see something. I was trying to see if they were saying if the castle was really there or if it was digitally made. But basically, this is Bowen finding out that Draco's the one who saved Einon, but nobody knew Einon was going to turn out to be evil. So this is a little bit of character development for Draco, where he's saying, you know, yeah, I gave him half my heart, but at the cost of my entire soul. And I thought it would change him and make him a better person and get rid of the evil inside of him. And turns out it didn't. It just made it worse because, you know, now he's got half of a dragon's heart. He's obviously stronger, so, you know, he uses the power for bad. This is just a cool shot of Draco in the rain. You know, it's like, what is this? What is this? Prince music video? I don't know. But if Prince's music videos had more dragons in them, I might be a bigger fan of Prince. We actually have a lot of nice shots. I don't know if these are actually in with the... Oh my god. I was gonna say, this is not a good... This is not a bad one, but then we get to this, and this looks like... This could have been like the cover art to the PS1 game we played. This looks like shit. I don't like that one. Some of these, I don't know if they're in order or not. This is because Draco does get captured when he's at the castle because he becomes weak. I don't know if it's because whenever he gets in close proximity to Einon, maybe it weakens him. That much I don't remember. But also Wave Cube. Fun fact: the director of DragonHeart also directed Triple X with Vin Diesel. You know what that movie could have used? More dragons. Maybe I would have seen it. Also, Dr. Surgeon Guy, it turns out if you try to help an asshole, there's still assholes. Yeah, I mean that's just a lesson you can apply to life, even today. We are getting close to the end of the movie. I think Draco, he gets wounded, and that's how he gets, tied and tethered to the ground. This is another one of those moments where there's a lot of stills from like the same thing. They free him, but this is his scar. He's been hurt. I don't know if he gets hit there. I'm not sure if he gets stabbed directly on his scar again, and that's what actually kills him. I think it might be. But then this is this card that's just a lens flare. This is Draco's soul leaving his body, and I really hope that in these last two cards we get like, no, we just get this fucking lawnmower man looking thing of him talking to Bowen. Oh, thank God. Thank fucking God. The last card in the set is the Constellation. This is a good one to end on. I mean, technically it is kind of how the movie ends. Basically what happens is that as Draco's dying, he tells Bowen and the people around him that the legends state that whenever dragons pass on, their spirits become part of the Constellation Draco. So when he dies at the end of the movie, you find out that he didn't really lose his soul when he gave up half of his heart, because he's still able to move on and join, I guess, the others that came before him at the end of the movie. This is the fucking sad part, man. This is the part of the movie. This is the one that's gonna get you. Even though I'm telling you right now, Draco dies at the end, it's still gonna get you. You're gonna watch that whole movie and you're gonna know that this son of a bitch is gonna kick the bucket at the end. And when it happens, it's still gonna ruin your day. It's still gonna get you. To the stars, Bowen. To the stars. These were the DragonHeart movie cards. Honestly, I guess it's kind of a good thing that we're missing so many of the cards, because they probably just would have been like 2 frames later in the same scene like we saw with some of the other ones, but... Fandramon, thank you for sending in the stack of cards. I am still going to try to complete the collection on my own time, but I figured I might as well show them off because we're kind of doing a Dragon stream tonight. So I think the DragonHeart movie cards, these kinds of things tend not to hold their value very well, so if you want to buy a couple of booster packs, like I'm sure you can find them on eBay, you might even be able to find like an entire booster box. Sometimes, in exceptionally unfortunate circumstances, you can get a whole box of booster packs because they just didn't sell. In the late 80s and then throughout the 90s, the market kind of became oversaturated with a lot of collectible cards, which is the reason why there's such a surplus. So you could probably find some relatively cheap. I feel like even though I'm gonna sing the praises of this movie, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a movie that's remembered, unfortunately. So a lot of its merchandise doesn't have a whole lot of value. So whether you're looking for trading cards or apparently party hats, because I was sent some of those by a Bobo a few weeks ago in viewer mail, apparently there's a lot of DragonHeart merch out there just floating around if you do enough digging. So there you have it. Thank you again, Fandramon, for the trading cards. All of these are going into my collection. All these are my favorites, but especially the Constellation one. That's right in the feels. Right in the feels. What'd you think about it? You gonna see that movie? Is it gonna make you cry? You probably will. I know you're trying to give me the Stonewall thing, but nah, you just wait. Just wait. You go watch that movie, you'll be telling a different story tomorrow. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Hey, thanks for checking out GatorBox on YouTube. We really appreciate it. If you like what you saw and you want to kick around with us live, follow us on Twitch because we do this several times during the week. And if you want to support this channel, you can do so by subscribing right here on YouTube, following or subscribing over on Twitch, or even making a pledge on Patreon. Your support over the years has been tremendous. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video right here on GatorBox.